Hi everyone. Welcome back to A Sky Full of Stars, Korona's Route, episode 10. And this will be the last episode in Korona's Route. So in episode 9, the receiver arrived. So the antenna and the cable has been set up earlier by Keisuke and Kanakajima of Meikou Technical Academy. And now that they have the receiver, they can use it. And it did take some time past Korona's curfew, I think. But in the end, they got some interesting results on their spectrum analyzer and to the speakers. And in short, they are observing meteors using radio waves. And it's quite beneficial that night because it was cloudy. And on a cloudy day, you can't see the stars using telescopes or anything. So let's see how it ends. And so Korona's going to talk about this to the other members of the Six Stars Club. Like, hey, I did something interesting. And on a larger scale, it's like Korona bringing in something new to the Six Stars Club. And it kind of gives Korona the feeling that she's not following the footsteps of everyone, but being like the leader who brings something new to the club.
今日は待ちに待った水亀座イータ流星群の極大日。その極大時刻が1時間後の午前2時頃になります。満月に近いお月様が出ていて、残念ながらコンディションはあまり良くありません。でも、コロナたちには電波観測があります。
So I think Korona is making some journal observation or some journal entry.
こんな時こそ、電波観測がその進化を発揮するのです。
So we are at our usual observation spot near the Hoshino Dam Lake. And in line with the peak of the Eta Aquariid Meteor Shower, the Six Stars Club held a stargazing event.
皆さん、間もなく極大時刻に近づきます。準備はよろしいですか？
大丈夫です。
So everyone's like, yep, we're ready. Everyone responds to the club president's Honoka's call. So Eta Aquariid, the radiant point for tonight's meteor shower, is about to appear in the eastern sky. And later, as dawn approaches, the radiant would ascend higher into the sky. It'll start off as a low altitude observation, but everyone had their ideas on how to enjoy the meteors. And some were taking photos with cameras mounted on tripods. Others had laid out sheets on the ground and laid down, looked up, and waited. And then there was those who listened to the sounds of the meteors. So let's show everyone, so Korona and Akito, how we do observations in a new way. So wearing the Meikou Academy uniform, Korona gives me the signal. Oh, great! So well done. In April, Hoshidaiichi's Astronomy Club had welcomed a much-needed new member. And her name is Hinami Yamada, a friend of Korona's.
新しいアンテナ、大丈夫みたいですね。もちろんだよ。物質で何度もテストしたんだから。
The equipment installed in the Hoshidaiichi is engaged to 24-hour stationary observation even now. So we had procured a new HRO receiver and an antenna for radio meter observation outdoors. So we bought another set, and unlike the first one that is mounted to the school building, this one's portable, and I'm pretty sure it's the same model of antenna and receiver. So even as stationary observation continues, we are now able to listen to the meteors while actually looking at them outdoors. So I think they had to use the same computer. So Akito just disconnects it from the first antenna and then connects it on the other antenna while outdoors.
空見くん、調子はどう？
So how are things? Says Orihime. After graduating from Meikou Academy, Orihime shows up from time to time as a alumna. Tonight's event was with the Six Arts Club, so she is especially enthusiastic about joining.
もうすっかり慣れたみたいね。
Well, we've been working at this for a while. 2 months has passed since the first time we had heard the meteors. And in that time, we learned about antenna adjustment and data collection, and we also read up more on radio meteor observations.
流星電波観測の仕組みについてだってコロナいっぱい説明できるよ。それは素晴らしいですわ。今回の参加者には流星電波観測に詳しくない方もいます。
So please,
よろしければぜひ説明してあげてください。
So please explain to the other people what you're doing and.
わかりました、部長。
Okay, President or Bucho. Korona had chosen to go to Meikou Academy, where she is now under Honoka's care. She no longer uses the nickname Honohono, but it still slips out sometimes apparently.
それでは皆さん、ここで行う流星電波観測について、明光学院天文部1年、草壁コロナが簡単にご説明します。
Korona stands in front of everyone and begins her explanation.
皆さん、流星とは何だと思いますか？流星とは、流星物質と呼ばれる小天体が地球の大気に突入した際に起こる発光現象のことを指します。地球の大気上層には電離層と呼ばれる部分があって、そこに流星物質がぶつかると電子とイオンに分離します。この現象を電離と呼びます。
Okay.
電離する際、その周辺の電子濃度が濃くなってしばらく維持されながら徐々に拡散していきます。電波は通常だと宇宙空間へ突き抜けてしまいますが、電子が濃くなると反射するようになります。その特性を利用し、電波の反射を測定することで目には見えない流星の数を調べる。それがこれから行おうとしている流星電波観測です。
So with great care and clarity, Korona explains the relationship between the meteors and the radio waves. The bar is set high because most participants are astronomy fans, but I thought it went over well. Well, it's more like Korona explaining the technicalities about how this works, and I think it's the technicalities that's going to confuse the astronomy fans.
特に流星群の日は電子の残留が続くため電波の反射は長くなります。それをロングエコーと呼びます。普段の流星電波観測では小さい反応しかありません。でも流星群の日はロングエコーが観測できると思います。めったにないチャンスです。皆さん、ぜひ星のフロートを聞いてみてください。さあ、今が始まりの時です。
So, as soon as she ends her explanation, Korona turns on the HRO receiver. And immediately, there is a soft sound. So unlike the first time, it looks like they're already receiving some signals. So I think it might be that the other antenna is transmitting all these radio waves, and when they reflected off of the meteors, this one picked it up. And it is soon followed by another. And in a short span of time, the sounds of stars falling come one after another from the speakers.
これは なんという。
And it impresses or surprises Orihime.
こんなにすごいの。ねえねえ、あっきり、いつもと全然違うんだけど。
Well, I've never heard anything like this. So it's a symphony of sound, unlike any single meteor. So it sounds like an orchestra, so all these different sounds combined together. Since the first text, we had continued observing meteors by radio, but this is our first encounter with a meteor shower. So, a symphony, an orchestra of sounds combined together. And last month's Lyrid meteor shower had peaked in the afternoon, making observation difficult, so we had to wait for tonight's Eta Aquariid. And our reward for all this waiting is this incredible sound.
信じられない。
And Kara's like, wow, so I never heard this before, so this is even a surprise for me too.
これこそ銀河のかけらがプラズマとなって散りゆく残響。月明かりでかき消されてしまう流星もこれだけたくさんあるということなのね。
So imagine how many things are out there that's been obscured by moonlight.
圧倒されます。
Even those who had their own ideas on how to enjoy the meteors are tuning in to our radio observation. Korona, take a look at this monitor.
すごい。流星の反応でいっぱいだ。
So now the spectrum is showing... I'm not sure if it's a lot more frequencies or just pretty much more data. And in our excitement, we stopped paying attention to the meteor sounds.
何なのこれは？故障？
Oh, no, not at all. So it's working as intended.
これがロングエコーだよ。
A reverberation that sounds like it would go on forever. It lasted for a full minute and then some, then it suddenly stopped. So that is the long echo. I am so overwhelmed I could not speak. Everyone around us fell silent too.
何今の？すごいよアキミ。こんなに素晴らしい反応が出ますのね。さすがに驚きましたわ。
Well, that's impressive, seriously. The excitement still fresh in my mind, I turned to the computer screen. So this is really something.
宇宙の雄たけびを可視化したような。アキミ、いつもはちょこんって点みたいなのに、ロングエコーだとこんなになるんだね。
Instead of the usual few dots, this response looks like a belt of dots. Okay? So, is this what it sounds like? That's amazing.
本当だね。
Astronomy fans across Japan are probably experiencing the same reactions. We joined a group chat for radio meteor observation enthusiasts. And through it, we saw a whole host of reactions in real time.
今のロングエコー超すげえ。実際の流星も見ました。かなり大きな流星痕でしたね。ああ、流星電波観測やっててよかった。
Everyone is really fired up. But that's understandable, so many stars are falling tonight. So Korona, let's say something too. Okay.
流星の音聞こえたよ。すっごい感動しちゃった。
So radio meter observations are the best. And it didn't really matter what we said. Our hearts are burning with this excitement with which no words could do justice to.
今この感動をみんなが共有してるんだね。さっきの人じゃないけど、コロナ流星電波観測やっててよかったよ。こんな気持ちになれるなんて前のコロナじゃ絶対無理だった。ありがとね、アキ兄。コロナをここに導いてくれて。
Well, I should be the one to thank you, Korona. I never felt this much joy before.
やっててよかったね。
Well, yeah, truly. And the sounds of stars falling is still coming from the speakers intermittently. And how long would it go on for, I wonder? Beyond the heavens, on the far side of the night sky, so meteors are fighting or lighting up as they turn into plasma.
見えないけど、ちゃんと感じるよ。
And only a few meteors are visible to us. But with our ears, we sensed many, many more.
ちゃんとここにあるんだよって、みんながコロナに教えてくれてるみたい。アキにコロナも伝えられるかな。コロナがここにいるよってこと、コロナのいる証、ちゃんと伝えたい。
Proof like she is here, even if she could not be seen. But speaking of proof, our recordings are waiting for us back at school. Okay, let's go then. I took Korona's hand and called out to Honoka. So Honoka, we're going to go back to the club room.
あとはお願いしてもいいですか、部長。
So can you take care of the rest?
そうですね。あなた方にはあちらもありますから。
But don't forget, so you brought your antenna, receiver, and your computer here.
部長、コロナ、こっちは任せて。
Okay, I'll take it back for you once this is over.
ありがとう、ひなみ。じゃあ行ってきます。あのね、アキに、ちょっとだけ寄り道、いい？
So I wonder what they're doing, so why the small detour? Sure, so where do you want to go?
今は内緒。ついてくればわかるよ。
Okay, so secret. Korona brought me to the platform on the band platform. Or the band station.
こっちこっち。
So over here. So inside the train car, you mean? We are using it to store the plays 1. But it's not here. We brought it to the observation spot where lots of people are having fun with it, no doubt. So what does Korona want Akito to see inside his side in Hikari's train car?
去年コロナが掘ったやつ、草壁コロナって。
So this was a year ago, and Korona wanted to add her name to the wall. And if I remember, Hikari and Saya and Akito added their names to the wall many years ago. Using a stone, Korona had carved her name into the car's wall. And I was there when it happened, and I remember it clearly. Well, that brings back memories. But did we really do that?
ってことでハキ兄も、はい。
So I think Korona wants Akito to carve his name on the wall. So with a smile, she hands me a stone. So you do the same.
秋にも書こうよ。コロナの隣に。
Wait, why not? I began carving my name onto the wall. I had written my name in here with a marker once, but it must have faded away and I can't find any trace. So Hikari and Sai used a marker to write the name on here. I'm sure it was when they were kids. And solemnly I added my name beside Korona's. Akito Sarami.
秋にもひらがなにしたんだ。
So kanji seems too hard to write. And besides, I want to match Korona's name. Okay, that makes sense.
バッチリだね。
Okay?
じゃあ、こうやって。
So satisfied with what I wrote, she began adding something to the wall.
できた！相合い傘にしちゃいました。
So the famous love umbrella. So you have umbrella with the couple's names underneath each side. Oh, so that's what you had in mind.
どうどう？いい感じじゃない？
Yeah, so it's not bad.
もう、そこはいいってはっきり言ってよ。
Come on, so say it's good. So this is special. Well, I'm sorry, it's good. Well, actually, it's the best. So our shared umbrella completed over the span of several months. Would it endure quietly along with this abandoned train car, I wonder?
コロナと秋兄の恋した証だよ。
And I'm sure they'll be using this train car again and again in the future. And I wonder what Hikari and Sai are going to say when they see this.
ずっとずっと残ってくれたらいいね。
So may our love last forever. And even if it changes, even if our thoughts change, may our love last. Korona touches the umbrella carving gently as if investing it with these wishes. So what's happening now? So it's past 2 in the morning and there are no more buses. And the only transport we had is the bike. So I have to send Korona home. And hopefully the mother's okay with Korona being out this late. Okay, hold on tight, Korona.
わかってるって。
Okay, come on. So keep still. So don't be all excited and crazy because it's going to be hard for me to balance you.
だってはしゃいじゃうよ。しょうがないんだよ。
But I'm excited. It's awesome.
こんな星降る夜に秋兄と二人乗りしてるんだもん。
With Korona seated on the rack, our bicycle sped down the moonlit path. We are going downhill, so I don't need to pedal at all, okay? And the streets of Hoshinaka City are spread out before our eyes.
見て秋兄、流星だよ。
And on the way down, they see falling stars. Well, I can't look up. I'm steering.
じゃあ、コロナが代わりに秋兄の目になるね。
Okay, so I'll help you look. Even if I could not look, Korona looks at them for me. Her hands wrapped around my waist, the torch, or the touch of her skin, those conveyed the excitement of the stars to me. Okay, so we made it in one piece. So they're back at Hoshitaichi for some reason.
楽しかった。
After we arrived at Hoshitaichi, I parked my bike and then we went to the club room. And we had permission to enter the school for Astronomy Club activities, even at night on holidays. And with complete impunity, Korona and I sauntered down the pitch-black hallway.
あきに、早く早く
So what's making Korona so excited that she's anxious? And hurry up, Akini. Well, we don't have to rush. And besides, it's dangerous to run in the dark.
平気平気こけてもあきにが助けてくれるもん
Yeah, you do. After we started dating, I became her vanguard in a sense and gave her support. And maybe it's because she felt safe, protected, even, but Korona is far more active and willing to take on new challenges. And she seems reckless even sometimes, but her energy and optimism are almost blinding. And before I knew it, I found myself cheering her on. Okay, so what's going on inside? So you might be able to see the meteors from the windows, so let's keep the lights off.
はーい
Without turning on the lights, we turn to the notebook computer. And it's now a dedicated radiometer observation device conducting round-the-clock stationary observations.
どうかなどうかな
So I wonder how it looks today on the screen. Korona appears at the LCD screen.
こいつはすごい
So it looks like this also picked up that long echo that Korona was talking about earlier. Well, indeed. So is it a meteor shower? All right. The program for the radiometer observation displayed 10 minutes of data on each screen. And usually there is one or two responses, I'd say, or if any. But for tonight, there are at least 10 times that number. So let's look in the records folder too.
楽しみだな
So let's compare this to previous data. The program automatically saves each 10-minute image as a separate file. And there's already a whole lot of image files in the designated folder.
すごいロングエコーがいっぱいだ
The long echo that we saw at the observation spot is probably here too. So a quick glance through the files showed that there are some other long echoes too.
このデータをいつもみたいに送ればいいんだよね
So we need an analytic program to turn the data into lists and graphs, which we then sent to a project coordinator. And in this way, our stationary observation contributed to the future of astronomy research. Okay, well, it's still early. So the meteor shower is not over yet. And the Eta Aquariid Meteor Shower peaked at 2 in the morning. We still had lots of meteors to observe in the next few hours.
そうだね朝になったら星降る夜も終わりだろうし
So I think when they went to the observation spot, they didn't have a computer, it was just a antenna, receiver, and speakers. And Colonel let everybody hear the sounds of meteors falling. Well, until then, let's just keep listening to the sound of the meteors. I turned up the volume on the speakers, and intermittently, we heard the sound of the meteors echoes. And it's a dull electronic sound, but we now know what it meant, and for some strange reason, it calms us.
あきに BGM なんていらないね
Yeah. The music of the meteors gently envelops us. And it's a quiet night, just the two of us. And looking at the stars beyond the window, we are filled with a sense of tranquility. Korona's voice carries over the sound of the meteors. Well, I love you too.
なんだ、聞こえちゃったんだ。
So you heard me, and I was trying to be quiet. She didn't mention or mean to be heard, it seems. But your voice, of course, I would hear it.
そんなこと言うとコロナまた嬉しくなっちゃうよ。アキ兄を襲いたくなっても知らないんだから。
Korona looks at me with a devious glint in her eyes. And this is the face she made when she felt like getting frisky. Well, that can't wait until after the observation.
大丈夫。パソコンがちゃんと記録を取っててくれるから。
So Korona reaches for the speaker volume control, and the sounds of the meteor grew faint until we no longer heard it.
見えなくたって聞こえなくたって大丈夫なんだよ。そこに流星があることをコロナたちは知ってるんだから。
Korona puts her hand out and touches me.
指絡めて。
Our hands become one, our fingers intertwined.
キスしていい？
Well, of course. And because Korona asked, this time I kissed her. As I gave her the kiss, after a playful kiss, things got a bit more intense.
アキ兄、もっと。
She starts rubbing her chest against mine. Her eyes told me that she wanted to be tougher or together with me. Hey, so I just thought of something.
何？
So look what I brought. I showed Korona my earphones. I pulled out the speaker's audio jack and plugged it into the headphones instead. Okay, so here's one for you.
うん。
Our earphones for Korona. So one for Korona, one for me. And sit next to each other, we listen to the sound of the meteor in the night sky.
アキ兄、これなんかいいね。
Yeah. Two people listening to the same sound. It filled us with a blessed sense of calmness.
このまま眠っちゃいそう。
Well, it's okay. So you can't sleep if you're tired.
アキ兄もコロナのことは気にせず寝ちゃっていいんだからね。
So same with you, Akini.
アキ兄の寝顔を見るチャンスかも。
Okay, so I remember that Akito took a picture of Korona while she was sleeping. And I wonder if Korona knows about it. It's like, well, I'm going to do the same thing to you and take a picture of you while you're sleeping. And Takechi also got one for Nare. I see that Korona has ulterior intentions. And because today is a special day, I wanted to make her wish come true. Okay, so I'll sleep and I'll let you take a picture of me for your enjoyment. So after I fall asleep, you can look at me as much as you want. And only you get to see how I sleep, Korona. And still listening to my one earphone, I gripped her hand. And lulled by the comforting sound of the meteors, I closed my eyes.
ありがとう、アキ兄。コロナにとって最高の夜になったよ。
The night of the Eta Aquariid Meteor Shower finally comes to an end. So, if I remember correctly, in the Japanese version, there's actually an H scene that happens right near the end. So, after Akito appears to fall asleep for Korona. And I think the only big note is that Korona got her nice, shiny new Meikou Academy uniform dirty. And of course, she'll have to wash it afterwards, because I'm pretty sure it's not up to Meikou Academy cleanliness standards. So anyways, the light of the morning sun streamed in through the club room windows. Hey, I'm Korona, so get up, it's morning. She is curled up like a cat, and I shook her gently. More sleep? I'm cold. Hey, time to get up. I understand. And in the end, I guess both of us had simply fallen asleep. So I got up once to check on the radio observation, but the responses are back to normal even before it got light out. So wait here. So I'll make you a cup of hot cocoa. Okay, thank you. Korona still looked sleepy as I switched on the electric kettle. And it's coffee for me, cocoa for Korona. So I think Korona just got a sip of the hot cocoa. It's like, okay, now I'm good. I'm awake and I'm all ready to go. Wait, so water's not boiling yet. So go wash your face.
Hi.
So full of energy, Korona left the room to go wash her face. And the kettle then started to make bubbling noises. So it's boiling, or the water's boiling. For some reason, I cherished this waiting time. Okay, so Korona's enjoying her hot cocoa. And I sat next to Korona and enjoyed the morning coffee. So how is this? So not too hot? All good? Everything okay? Well, it is hot. She took the careful sips of cocoa, blowing it now and then. And the warmth of the mugs on our hands is extremely welcome. So, at least it's helping us in other ways. Well, next time I should have coffee. Well, I don't think Korona's mom will accept coffee because of the caffeine. Wait, you don't? Oh, so your coffee's black and that's too bitter for me, so I want some cream and sugar in mine. So I think Akito, he's drinking it black because he doesn't want to buy cream and sugar to save on costs. But you're okay with if there's tons of milk and sugar on it. I think it's more like, well, if Akini is drinking black, I'm going to join him in drinking black coffee. Well, you don't have to be cool, Korona, so cute suits you better. Well, there you go. It's like, I want to drink black just like you. I see. Well, let's do this then. I added a lot of milk and sugar to my coffee. Okay, so how about I make my coffee sweeter, so I'm drinking the same drink as you. So I'm drinking it with milk and sugar. And for Akito, it's too sweet for him. There you go. But it's definitely just right for Korona. Okay, so here's your coffee with cream and sugar or milk. So Korona makes cute slurping sounds as she drank my sweetened coffee. So, in exchange, can I have some of your cocoa? And I tasted some of Korona's cocoa. It's sweet, but comforting. And I vaguely remember drinking this when I was younger.
アキ兄と一緒の飲んでる。
So I think in the future, they should find a balance, like what works best for both of them. So Korona wants it sweeter with milk and sugar, whereas Akito wants it more bitter, so closer to black. And they should find some middle ground, so a taste that they will both accept without any like concerns or complaints. So we should do this more often then.
たまにはじゃなくて、いつもがいいな。
Well, all the time. Okay, then let's get you used to the taste, one step at a time. Well, I'm sure the same can also apply to Akito's. Like, well, how about he tries something new, a little bit more sweeter than... So over coffee and cocoa, we look through last night's observation results.
はあ、さすがにすごいね。
So this is the first time we had so many responses, huh?
流星群、恐るべし。
And indeed they are. Well, actually, witnessing one is such a moving, unforgettable experience. I never thought it could be turned into a sound and data.
次はいつかな。8月のペルセウス座流星群？
So what other meters should we observe next? So now that we have one, we should continue to do this and hopefully get more meteor showers in our records. So I'm sure the Delta Aquariid Meteor Shower comes before that. So we can go to that one first, and then the one that you mentioned, so the Perseids.
また水亀座か。
The southern Delta Aquariids are exposed at the end of July, and they are not as active as the Perseids, but we could look forward to some reasonable results. So don't worry, even though it's not as active, we have a really good equipment and we can detect it. It just won't be as exciting as the Perseids. Well, I get that you are eager for the next meteor shower, but let's deal with this one first.
おっとっと、そうだった。
So Korona works on the computer with visible expertise. She applies the analytic software to the saved image files. And in no time at all, we had the required text files and graphs.
これを送ればいいんだよね。
Okay, so we gotta send this to the observatory and all the scientists, right? Yep.
では、届け、コロナたちの観測結果。
So, send. Our observation results are sent off to the coordinator of the Radio Meteor Observation Project. Normally, we send monthly reports, but something like a meteor shower deserves to have its own submission.
アキに送ったよ。
Okay, so all done. Great, well done. And without much ado, the curtain fell. That simple task signaled the end of our radio observation. For now.
まだまだこれからだね。
The night of the meteor shower is over, but our observations will still continue.
でも待ってるだけじゃつまんない。もっともっと他にやれることを見つけたいな。
So stargazing is not only just about radio observations, so I'll show you a lot more of this world that you will never know.
ありがとう、アキに。楽しみにしてるね。
And all began with a passing idea. Radio meteor observations is Korona's starting point. Instead of just sticking with one thing, I wanted her to see the stars in a spectrum of new lights. Well, it's not just radio observations that lets us see the unseen. And in their thirst to solve the universe's mysteries, people are developing ever more advanced technology. They're observing the universe with X-rays, gamma rays, even infrared radiation. And I'm sure they can expand their bandwidth even further, so looking at very low frequency waves or even cosmic rays.
ハッブル宇宙望遠鏡にもあったよね、そういうの。
Yeah, but there's more. So Super Kamiokande and its famous, neutrinos, even gravitational wave-based astronomy. And there are so many things that we don't know, but I believe that someday something unseen to us will help solve the mysteries of the universe.
コロナもそういうことをしたい。
And if that happens, I hope I am part of that big breakthrough.
秋にコロナもしたいよ。
Sure, so let's move forward one step at a time. Yep. And we're moving forward with our dreams, trying to catch up with the advance in technology. But for now, all we could do is follow the lead of the pioneers. But one day, without a doubt, one day we would be the ones guiding the rest of the world. One step at a time, no need to rush. Steadily, eyes focused, we moved forward. Okay, so this is the credits for A Sky Full of Stars. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip this, and we're gonna see the epilogue for Korona's route and what happens after radio astronomy and for Korona in the future. So hold on for a minute. Okay. So we're now at the epilogue for Korona's route. So in terms of the Hubble Space Telescope, I'm sure it can be modified and upgraded to match current methods and technology that they use to do stargazing and astronomy. So they can put in equipment that can observe infrared, radio, gamma, or even pulses, or any kind of strange elements that space can offer to the world. But anyways, let's see how it goes from here and how it ends for Korona's route. So it's summer.
秋にこっちこっち。
Well, I told you not to get so excited.
そんなの無理だよ。だってだって。
Well, I can't hold back because
念願の延山なんだもん。
because we are at Nobeyama.
うわー、すっごい。これが延山自慢の45メートル電波望遠鏡。
So now Korona gets to see the big boys equipment that they use for radio astronomy. So big telescopes that are about 45 meters. The parabolic antenna that stood there before our eyes is so big and it took our breath away. As one of the world's largest telescopes for millimeter wave observations, is a symbol of the Nobeyama Radio Observatory. And I wonder how many antennas they have. They might have more than one, and that would be even more exciting. It's like an array.
これで遥か彼方の天体からの電波を集めてるのか。
Oh, so just one. But it's powerful, and so seeing it with your own eyes up close, it is amazing, huh?
コロナ、ここの職員になりたい。どうやったらなれるんだろう。
Ha ha ha, slow down, Korona. You just only started Meikou Academy.
でも、こんなの見てたら悠長に構えてらんないって。
Well, come on. So if you are acting like this, then I'm going to get excited too.
我慢することないよ。アキ兄もコロナと一緒にはしゃご。
Well, that's great. So I want you to be excited too. Well, I guess you're right. Well, I am in Nobeyama land. And the excitement I've been repressing burst forth in a loud yell. Well, that right there is the basis for the ALMA telescope, the Nobeyama Millimeter Array.
ねえねえ、向こうにずらーっと並んでるのが電波ヘリオグラフってやつだよね。
Well, you're probably right. So there's probably small telescopes, actually small antennas, like an array of them, and just this one big antenna. Yeah, so how many milestones in radio astronomy all in one piece? Or one place? And we knew about them, but seeing them like this in real life filled us with an irrepressible excitement. The other Six Stars Club members felt the same way, alternating between amazement and frenzied photo taking.
先にコロナたちの未来があるんだね。
So when I graduate, I'm going to work here. I'll be one of the research scientists here. Astronomers before us used their eyes to discover the stars. And that desire gave birth to the telescope as well as a whole host of further advancements. So radio astronomy is still a developing field after all.
そっか、ここを乗り越えていかないといけないんだ。
The desire to know about unseen phenomena in the farthest reaches of space. And how would we look at the universe in the future, I wonder? But however that changes, our desire to know would remain the same. And so would Korona and me.
アキ兄、これからもずっと一緒に見ようね。
And with that in mind, this is the end of Korona's route in a sky full of stars. Okay, so I'm back at the title screen. So I actually kind of like Korona's route. It is pretty good. And we did get to learn some new information about Korona. So Korona really had this big dream and this big potential, but unfortunately, because of her mother, she didn't really get to enjoy it. So she really wanted to do astronomy with Hikari, Saya, and Akito, but her mom would not let her do so. And it kind of was like the mother wanted Takeichi to join them instead. But of course, Takeichi is not interested in astronomy, and that's why he's in the basketball club at Hoshidaiichi. So, I also like how in Korona's route we get something new. So, Korona wanted to bring something into the Six Stars Club, and it's like, well, that shows my passion for astronomy, or if I want to do astronomy. And I feel like for the entire time I've been following the footsteps of everyone. So I went to Meikou Academy because of my mom, and I joined the Astronomy Club and the Six Stars Club because of Orihime and Honoka. So that kind of gives me the feeling that I'm just following other people, and I want to have something that I can call my own. And that's where Korona brought up radio astronomy. So this radio astronomy thing is only seen in Korona's route so far, and I'm not sure if I'm going to see it in the other routes. So you can go check them out if you're interested. So Saya's route, Hikari's route, or Orihime's route. And if you know that, or the order that I play these routes, so my favorite character goes last, and since Korona's route is not last, that means there's one other character that kind of beat Korona at the end in terms of my personal favorite. So anyways, with that in mind, I'll see you in a future playthrough on a future visual novel.